Sivarama Prasad, visiting faculty at IARE. Today we will get into the subject of skill needs, new upgrades, and another thing is an interesting one, de-skilling. If you see generally, man has got many skills and they will get exhibiting mode or demonstrating mode on need basis or sometimes with efforts, sometimes to exhibit. But the expertise, if you want, you have to build it with your own interest, your own efforts, your own drive. Sometimes the situations, hard works and practices, and over a period you will become a competent talent. So whether you are born with a talent or not, you can become a competent talent, and that is what is going to give life not only to you but also to the industry and to the community or to the society. In the early days, it was only family grown skills, handcrafts, mostly dominated by man and mind of his self-interest. But it was a contented life, so there was not much big volumes. When industrialization has come, the needs are increased, quality of life increased. So that time, to meet the higher volumes, people started reverse engineering of the handwork. That means you get into the industrial engineering mode, methods engineering, then note down the process, how the man is doing. Then you try to reproduce it through a man or through a machine and get into the mass production like that. If you see the olden days, when the times were very tough, people struggled and learned these skills and they have become very strong on the fundamental skills. And in the process, what they thought, they wanted to give a comfort to the next generation. So they created comforts and it created good times for next generation. And these next generation people, during these good times, it was comfortable. But in the process, what happened is, the natural skills were lost. And suddenly they became weak and not able to do that skills, and it has lost its phase or it has gone, and tough times have again are giving way for that. If you see that entire process, generally for simple things, man is very good and he can make the decision fast and he can work out easily. There is no big requirement of a technology for that. Or sometimes, let us not create too much of confusion or complications just for the sake of using the technology for simple things. So when simple things are there and a low volumes, very small things, a man with a normal skill or provide him with some systems is okay. The same thing when you get into a complex mode or a critical mode, the decision making is very difficult for a man and he cannot get into all these complicated equations. So what happens is, it will take more time, he will not be able to respond properly or he may miss the correct solution. So at that time, you need the help of technology. So a man with skill, because earlier skill doesn't help for technology, so he has to be updated with some skills, or in some cases you have to give a new skill itself. And there will be some other things, very critical things, where the technology also finds it, like computer getting hang. That means there are too many things, he is not able to move further. It is like a traffic jam. So at that time, an experienced man can really throw a light so that it gets eased out. So for critical things, you have to see an experienced man with a technology and a new skills man, all combinedly you have to work. Then it gives a better result. So generally what happens is, you have to take charge of the technology to make the things easier or friendly for the user. Only then it gets into the line. Otherwise, it doesn't get into that. So, what you have to learn is when good times are there, unlike earlier days, instead of becoming lazy and being comfortable with that, let us enjoy, simultaneously upgrade our skills in line with the future technologies, emerging technologies, and then become stronger. And you create a better life for the next man. And today, most of the times, what is happening is we started consuming more and we are taking less but wasting more. If you are wasting more, the natural resources or whatever it is, any resource, getting it back is again difficult. So let us use the technology, consume it with the interest that you will conserve it for the future. With this, if you start working for the new era of the things, the skill needs are many and they are changing. You cannot learn everything. So you have to go with a mix of some in-house, some built-in, some outsource. See, outsourcing, what you can see is very high-end special skills are troublesome. That means it will happen only once in a while. For that, you need not create a skill of your own. Same way, like a doctor, a law, or an architect, or an entrepreneur, or like this, they are all special skills and you may not be requiring every day. Such things you can go for outsourcing. And in-house, that means, like in our case, in the industry also, automation, regular work, repetitive works, routine jobs, simple jobs, you can get into inside. So that day in and day out you will be doing, and you can take the help of a machine and man skills, you can increase the capability or you can develop the skills accordingly, simple way. And for any specialist, you can get outside help and do it. So that what happens is there will be a good mix of normal and a specialist. And in this process, what is happening is some of the skills you have to acquire, some of the skills you have to upgrade, some of the skills you have to leave it. And like a cinema hero, whatever is needed at the site or whatever is required for the time, you have to get that competent talent. That means either that competency can be inside or you have to acquire it immediately. So in this process, if you attach it to the industry, what happens is standard and general purpose machines are there for doing simple things. And there are some special fixtures, softwares, new designs are there for doing the complicated things. And for some special things, you have to get into special purpose machines or automations when you want to do. So all these things require different types of skills. So first thing is upgrade our skill. That means earlier it is fully man dominant and it is very limited quantity. So once you get into mass production, you have to become machine dominant and man is only a passive man. So when market needs a very large quantities, man cannot do it because of the fatigue or 24-hour work. His behavior becomes unpredictable and his body conditions become unhealthy. So you have to get into machine mode. For that, what you have to do? You have to see what is the earlier process, element by element. Get into work instructions. Try to work with the machine and then less with the man. And when you're going for emerging or new, when market needs varieties of products, large batches, you cannot work with the existing skills. So you have to get into new machinery, new skills like CNC, programmable, and automatic remote operations, robotic applications. All these things require totally new skills, which you have not learned earlier. So you have to get into the new skills irrespective of your wish or your requirement. You have to get into that. Otherwise, you will not be useful to the industry. Then the third one is, you have to skill some and you have to de-skill some. This is where what happens is, when the market is looking for large varieties, large choices, frequent changes, unexpected and specifically made to individuals, it requires some special skills, at the same time some de-skilling. How it is working is, you take for example a general purpose machine. It will work all standard. But if you create a special tool and change over it, it creates a special product. And if you change the fixture, it will work differently. And when you are changing, you need setting. Setting is a process where you will take time to set it, adjust it, and get into a different mode. That means in the same machine, you will be doing a totally different component. For doing all these things, what you have to get into that is, you study the entire process very minutely. If required, you can put a camera and completely picturize it. Go through step by step. And element by element, you make it into a smallest step. See where body is taking the dominance, where the brain is taking the dominance, where it is a mechanical movement, where is a thinking movement. You observe it very closely. Then you will know some elements are just mechanical, some elements a man is thinking and then taking action. That is just observing. If there is an abnormality, he is stopping the machine, he is doing it. Such things he closely observe. This requires a very deep study. And with a deep study, you get into segregation. That means judgmental, non-judgmental. Dominance, man, method, machine. High skill using brain or low skill with the body. Or all these things, once you segregate, you will get into a mode where you can convert many of the things into a instruction mode. And some you can convert that into a method mode. Some you can convert that into a menu and selective mode. By grouping these, you will reduce the work of the man, judgmental things. The skill of the man is get de-skilled into all these three. Then you will see, by seeing in the monitor, you may not be expert in that field, but still you can operate it. Today, many of the things are coming into that mode. And when you are doing that, a single man can operate multiple machines, multiple cells. He will be moving, so he will be very active and he will be healthy. And he will be taking as per the instructions, as per the manual, and life will be easy for the man, machine, and also to the industry. Because he is not totally depending on the man. At the same time, he is not totally leaving it to the machine. A man and machine interaction and interface, it will be very good. And the judgmental things, each man giving a different quality, it goes. And you will get a predictive parts and a consistent qualities, whoever is using it. Otherwise, highly skilled man will give a better job and a low skilled man may be giving a bad job. It doesn't happen with this type of de-skilling and skilling. So, by doing this, you can convert some of the machines into a special purpose machines where they will be doing special products continuously, and you can create a lot of automation to that, and you can create programmable thing so that he will be operating it without fatigue. And this needs a different skill to be built into the man, like a programming and interfacing with the machine, which increases the effectiveness and also the health and morale of the human who is working there. It becomes a very friendly atmosphere for the man, machine, and also to the customer. And these methods are very, very important, especially with the new trends. Irrespective of the group, you have to get more and more into detail. Otherwise, you cannot create data management or you cannot make an automation. And these are all the stepping stones for creating artificial intelligence and also to create a special purpose equipments and to making man-machine interface and creating logic, electronics, internet and mechanical equipment, remote controls, all to integrate it. You have to go deep into these. You have to understand the process, not just overall, but at a very minute level, so that it becomes, by grouping into different one, you will get a different program and a different machine or a different product. And with this, what is happening is, irrespective of the person or grade or gender or location, everybody has to learn new techniques, become always in a learning mode, get new skills, get updated skills. And it is not by someone telling, it has to become a self-driven, so that we'll be useful and whatever we are doing also will be useful. And ultimately, a man is not meant for doing a repetitive jobs. He is meant for doing a creative jobs and use his brain for better things, improving the things and do breakthrough improvements, innovations. And you can use it, machine, for doing the general repetitive jobs where it is very efficient, very effective, and it gives consistent results minute by minute, day by day, and it is easy to manage. And more than all this, it is very predictive. So, split the jobs which are to be improved, which are to be innovated, which are to be creative. Let us do it with man. And which are to be repetitive, recurring, laborious, fatigue oriented. Give it to the machine so that industry will be happy, operator, man will be happy, and the customer also will be happy. So with this, this is only a concept wise. On this, if you start working, you will do a lot on skill mapping or creating data or creating or taking out the brain elements into a instruction mode or menu driven or selective modes. So this is very important. In the days to come, you may have to work more and more on the observation of the situation at the site and create a lot of data and then make new methods into that. Thank you. With this, we can create new things. Once I'm associated with one of the things, by taking the body movements, you can create a man who is making one dance. He can animate into a different mode and create a different dance with that. This is done in movies and all. Same thing you can do it with machines. Same thing you can do it with regular activities, which will be very helpful. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.